Good morning to everybody. Parashat Vayeshev. And on the beginning we have a very interesting pasuk that we have so much to learn from one pasuk, which is teaching us how important it is to look at everything, every small details, and how deep is the Torah. So the Torah tells us, Vayeshev, 1 minute, okay. Vayeshev Yaakov beretz migurei aviv beretz Canaan. And Jacob sat in the land which his father lived, in Eretz Canaan. Ele toldot Yaakov Yosef, and those are the descendants of Yaakov, Yosef. And the first question is, we all know the Midrash, that Rashi is bringing, Vayeshev, Bikesh Yaakov leishev b'shalva. Yaakov wanted to sit down, come down. The whole story of Joseph started, all those problems with Joseph. And it says, לא תיים לצדיקים שכרם בעולם הבא, רוצים לשב בשלווה בעולם הזה, not enough the reward that the tzadikim are going to get in the next world. They want to sit here and rest? No, here you have to work, here we have to move. And we are asking ourselves, if we go back, last parsha, when Yaakov Avinu comes back from this impossible journey, and God is telling him, he didn't say thank you to God, didn't bring any sacrifice. So God is telling him, 1 minute. ויאמר אלוקים אל יעקב, קום עלה בית אל ושב שם, again, what is Vayeshev? Sit there. ועשה שם מזבח לאל הנקרא אליך. So God is telling him to sit down. So this sit down is good, and the other sit down, Vayeshev Yaakov, when he's sitting down, wants to settle in after all the journey. This is wrong, this is bad. Why? What's the difference between those two times that he's sitting? The first time, he's after a very problematic journey. Imagine to yourself that you want to go do something, and you are late, so you're rushing into it, and you know you're doing a lot of mistakes when you do this, because you are not concentrating, because you're in a rush. For you come to daven to God, say mincha, the middle of the day, you go, you rush, oh, I'm late, you're going, you don't even listen to what you're saying, you don't even know what you're doing. So first of all, calm down, clear your mind from all the things that you did now, and focus on praying to God. And this is in everything in life. When you want to do and start something, and you have a lot of things going on, so first of all, calm down. And that's what God is telling him to Yaakov. First of all, calm down, sit down. After all the things you did, I don't want you to bring a sacrifice when your heart is not with it. When you are with all, now your mind is in all other things and problems and what you went through and whatever you have to do. Like in davening, somebody told me once, I never forget, a Talmid Chacham told me, he says, I don't know, I have a problem, you know, in Shmoneh Esrei, when I daven Tfilat Shmoneh Esrei, sometimes I'm finding myself going in the market buying vegetables for my wife, because his wife sent him to buy vegetables in the market, so it was in his mind. So while he's davening, suddenly this thing went into his mind. So this is why our sages tell us, before you daven, sit down and come down. That's what God is telling him. Shev sham. First of all, sit down, come down, clean your mind, and then v'aseh sham mizbeach la, and then you say thank you with all your heart, with all your intention. And that's a good sitting down. That is sitting, or in other words, come down. Clean your mind and do it with all your heart, with all your soul. But here, Vayeshev Yaakov, he thought that he's going now to sit down, he can sit down and come down. And we have to understand something. It's not that Yaakov is going to sit down, you know, near the sea, with a bathing suit, with the champagne in a glass, and a cigar in his mouth, and somebody's doing winter. That's not what Yaakov is going to do. Yaakov is Tam Yoshev Barim. Yaakov is going to sit down and learn. So what's so terrible in it? But we are approaching now Chanukah. Chanukah is from chinuch, education, Chanukah. And the Vayeshev here, קפץ אליו עובדו של יוסף. What started? A whole balagan with the children. Started why? When he wanted to sit down. Torah is telling us, education never ends. When you teach your children and you think you finished the job, you never finish the job. It doesn't matter how old your children are. They can be 5, 6, 7, 8, and even 20, and 30, and even 40. They are still your children. And education never stops. That's what the Torah wants to tell us. The minute that Yaakov Avinu thought that he finished the job with his kids, tzaddikim, and look what happened. So the first lesson we learn is Vayeshev. We here in this world to work, to move. We cannot just sit down and sit in the yeshiva, close ourselves, and don't care about what's happening outside. And definitely, we have to understand that education never stops. We always have to be a example. We always have to teach our children. That's the first lesson. There's a lot to talk about it also. But what's the meaning be'eretz migurei aviv? Migurei aviv is from a language ger. Ger is somebody who comes to a town. He is not a citizen. He is a foreigner that comes and he's got a special license to sit there, whatever. A ger. Not a toshav, not somebody who has got a citizenship and he lives there. For example, in order to go to the state, you need a special permission to go in, and if you want to work there, you need a special working permission, and because you're not one of the citizens of the U.S. or in every other country. In other words, the Torah is telling us something very interesting. The idea about what is this world, because Yaakov, with all due respect, he is sitting there because his father sat there and his grandfather sat there and God promised the land to him. So what's the problem? Why is Megurei Aviv? Why is it's written in a way that he's not a citizen, that he's just a foreigner? And the reason is that we have to understand that this world is not permanent. We're not here forever. We are only on a temporary time. And this always reminds me the story that Chovot Halvavot, the duty of the hearts, Chovot Halvavot brings, and we tell it in our language, in simple words. There was this country that decided one day that they are going to bring a king from outside, because they don't want him to be involved with what's happening and not be like the politician today. This one has got connection to this one. Chaver mevi chaver, the friend brings the other friend, the whole family is in, and of course the one who is close to the king, he's get all the benefits, and those he doesn't like. In other words, he is not objective. And they wanted a king that is objective. So they thought about it, and they got an idea. We are going to take a tourist, somebody from outside, and we are going to put him on us as a king for 5 years. And after 5 years, outside. The same way he came, that's what we're sending outside, with nothing. Everything stays here in our country. Wow, so a good idea. So they got this guy, and so you are our king. He says, what? He couldn't believe his luck. Yeah, yes, you are king here. Here is the palace. Sit. You are going to sit. They taught him what to do. Wow. He thought, why? This is the best thing in my life. And he built houses and bought cars. And he spent so much money on doing things there. And nevertheless, he says, it's so good here. He brought his wife and children and all the property he has from outside. He brought it into the country. 5 years passed by very quickly. And one morning, 2 bullies come in, guards, saying, Moishale, Kadima, outside. He says, what do you mean? I'm your king. No, we didn't tell you, but your job was only for 5 years. Now, the same way you came, we are taking you out. Took him out, and he couldn't believe it. He lost everything. He spent so much money inside the country. And now he had to leave it there. But not only this. He took what he had outside, inside, and now he is left with nothing. Okay. In the meanwhile, the country is looking for a new king. And they find this tourist, checking him. Okay, we decide you're going to be our king. Of course, again, they don't tell him that it's only temporary. But this guy was not stupid. I am a king. I'm going to check it. What did he do? He took one of the minister and he gave him presents and parties and become a friend. And he became very good friends. And then one night he's asking me, tell me, what's going on here? What is this thing? King from outside, took me a king. Well, what's going on? Says, oh, I tell you the truth, but don't tell nobody. It's only temporary. You, after 5 years, they're going to take you out with nothing. Says, okay. Now what did he do? He started building houses and buildings outside the country. And all the money inside the country that he had, he took out. And he himself was enjoying life, but everything in a proportion, because he knew whatever I don't need, I'm going to take out, because after 5 years I'm going to take everything is going to wait for me out there. And the 5 years went by, and one day those two bullies, two guards come in. We have to take him. Okay, he's with a big smile. I'm happy to go. And he's going outside, and there everything is waiting for him. Wow, all the things he built, all the money he took out, all the treasures, everything is there waiting for him. Says Chavot Alvavot. That's exactly our situation. We come to this temporary world. We are kings. We can do mitzvahs. We can use the time. We are the masters of our time. We can use it the way we think the best. So there's those stupid people. They use the time to run after their desires, lust, spending money on cars, houses, clothes, holidays, and whatnot. Eating, drinking. And nevertheless, the few mitzvahs they do with the time, they do them because they want the reward, not for God, not for the others, for themselves. Everything is from the egoistic point of view. I. And then comes the time. They go up to heaven, and God is telling them, what have you done? You've got nothing. All the time you wasted. You've got no reward. Nothing is waiting for you. And wow, we do a few mitzvahs. No, those mitzvahs also, you didn't do them for me. You didn't do them for the others, for the klal. You did them for themselves, for the reward. So this is also not. The wise guy understands and realizes that this world is a temporary world. So he uses the time to make more and more mitzvahs, to do good deeds. Of course, he doesn't have to suffer. He enjoys life, but everything in a proportion, because he understands and realizes, if I waste my time on nonsense, nothing is going to left for the real world, for the place where I'm going to be forever. So he's using the time with a clever way, and whatever he doesn't need, whatever time he's got, is learning, mitzvahs doing, tzedakah, and everything he does is for others, giving for God, not for himself, not for the reward. And when he comes up there in heaven, everything is waiting for him. This is Be'eretz Megurei Aviv. And then we have Ele Toldot Yaakov Yosef. I don't understand. What? Did Yaakov have only one son, Yosef? Where are all the others? Why is he's the only one mentioned here? And here we have to understand something very important. Why did the brothers hate Yosef? Why did it all start? Because Yaakov, looking out to us, he favored Yosef, showed him his love, he bought him a special coat, the technical coat, and he was, like, let's say, all the time with him. And they were thinking, what was happening? When Avraham Avinu came to the world, he passed the message, and there was only one that continues the way of Avraham Avinu, which was Yitzchak. One. Yitzchak is giving his way to who? Only one is going on and getting everything, and this is Yaakov, Esav, and also all the others from Avraham Avinu are all getting presents and away. The continuance, the one who is leading, is only one. So they think to themselves, now it's the same thing. Look, What is happening now is that Yaakov decided that Yosef is going to be the one to lead the way. He is going to be the one. And we all are going to be the junk. We are going to being thrown out. But okay, so what's the problem? That you are tzaddikim. No, Yosef is not suitable. Yosef is a telltale. He is he wants to rule on us. He is how do you say? He's arrogant, and he's telling stories about them to their father. He is like Esau. Esau also was coming to his father. Hey, you're a tzaddik, I'm a tzaddik, and it was really a Rasha. And this guy is the same thing. So they decided, we have to finish this thing. He comes with all those dreams. He's going to rule on them, rule on his father, on his mother, on them. What's going on here? Who is this guy? What does he think? We must do something in order to prevent this problem. Because everything going to finish if he's going to be the one. Because he's not the one. Why didn't they know who Joseph was? The main problem is, because the time flies, there's a lot to talk about it. But the main problem is communication. When he comes to look for them in the field, what is written there? They saw him from far away. And before he even get closer, they decided to kill him. Then they sold him. We know the whole story. But the thing is, they never tried to connect with Joseph, to listen to him, to come closer to him, understand what is behind everything. They didn't let him communicate with them in the right way. They saw him from far away, so they didn't see the real picture. They saw an arrogant guy that is looking after himself, that is thinking to rule on them, etc., etc., etc. They didn't understand and realize what is the truth behind. And this is our problem always. We look at things from the outside. We don't understand and realize that even if we see something from the outside doesn't look so good, maybe let's connect. You see, one of the most important sentences, psukim in our parsha, is when Yosef is going to look for his father. Etechai anochi mevakesh. I am looking for my brother. I want my brother. This is one of the main things that we have to put in our mind. From the other side, last parsha, Yaakov Avinu says to God, Atzileni na, save me from my brother. And here, and his brother Esau is hugging him and talking, oh! And he's getting as far away as he can from the hugs of Esau. Unbelievable. Here, Yaakov says, save me from my brother. The brother hugs him. And here, the holy brothers hate their brother. They want to kill him. And he is not saying, save me from my brother. He is looking for them. Because this is exactly the point. Yosef knows exactly what is his job in life. He knows exactly that his brothers are holy brothers. They don't see the picture right. So he is looking for them. He's looking for them to tell them what the truth is, to get close to them. But unfortunately, they didn't listen. They didn't let him get close to them. So yes, from one side, we have to be safe from the hug of Esau the brother, from the hug of this Greek culture, of the Western culture. This is Hanukkah. The light of, this is no light. This is darkness. All this culture of putting the man, the human being, in the middle, and he is the important, while the real important thing is what can you give to the others. It's like Kennedy, the president of the States, said this sentence, unbelievable. He says, ask yourself, don't ask yourself what the country can give you. Ask what you can give to the country. And that's exactly the point. We have to understand and read the real picture. And understand, looking at the whole thing, not what can I take out of it. What can I give? When each one of us will understand that we're all brothers. Yes, one side, get away from bad influence. Because there are some brothers that like Esau. Don't let them hug you. Don't let this culture hug you. Don't let this lust hug you. Don't let Sarah hug you. No, get away. From the other side, try and bring the message and get closer to the other brothers, those that you can tell them who you are and see who they are, and together, and to understand that we are in a limited time in this world, and whatever we do in this world is order to get to the next world, and the reward in the next world is for us, the biggest reward is for us to spread love and loving each other, loving our brothers. Have a nice day. All the best.